LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the models involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel: Lamonte Thomas, Robb Johnson, Joe Dillard Jr., and special guest Brian Snow of the Snowman in the Morning Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 17 of Legacy on Fire here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. We're so glad to have you all here with us for another rendition of the show. Excuse me, I'm getting the words all tangled up. But nevertheless, we're glad to have you all here. And we got a very esteemed panel today. I mean, I'm very excited about who we got on the air. It's going to be a doozy, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a doozy. So, first of all, let's get this thing started with the introductions. First, my man, he is the man that runs the No BS Sports Zone, and there's nobody else like him in the game, Mr. Robb Johnson. Robb, how you doing today, brother?
Let's get this sports debate going.
Exactly. Then, of course, I got a double whammy here. We've got the founders and the main co-host of the Commonwealth Sports Talk with us today. We got Joe Dillard Jr. and Mr. Lamonte Thomas. How you doing, fellas?
Another day in paradise.
What's up? Let's get it cracking.
Yes. And of course, man, I've been waiting for this one. I mean, we got this guy right here. He's special. Yeah, I mean, I love this guy with all my heart. So glad to have him on with us today. Mr. Snowman himself, Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning. Snow, how you doing, brother?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me. I've been counting down the minutes and the days for this. Let's go. Let's do it. I've been waiting for this.
We are so glad to have you on Snowman with us today. We got a lot of great things to go. We're going to start the thing off with quick takes. And we're going to start off with quick takes. And with this quick take, we're starting off this guy right here, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. There's been so much going on with the Aaron Rodgers situation over the last, it started the day after the draft. So we're sitting here close to 4 months, but it's been going on for a minute. And finally, today, we finally got a smidge of closure, but we're nowhere near. As Aaron Rodgers reported to camp and the Packers, we're going to find out what's going to be the deal. I just want to go around the room real quick and hear from everybody and what their thoughts are on this situation here on Quick Takes. So Quick Takes, you get 1 minute to break it out. Snowman, I'm going to let you start this one off because you say you had something special. So Snowman, what you got going on? Quick Takes on the Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay.
So Aaron Rodgers is back with the Packers to lose another NFC Championship game.
Oh, Snowman.
He finally gets to host an NFC title game, and he gets rocked by Tampa Bay. 2 years ago, he goes on the road, as usual, and he gets blasted by San Francisco. Now, given the fact that he waited all summer to say, okay, I'm going to play for you guys again, yeah, sorry, Aaron, your time's up. That's that. And when you see San Francisco again, you're going to be eating more dirt than you did 2 years ago.
Jeez. Why did I start off with Snowman? Robb!
Because you wanted to.
I don't think it's going to get any better. But Robb, what you got on this one, brother?
The way I look at Aaron Rodgers in this situation, I'm not going to look at it from the perspective of him, sitting out or whatever. The way I look at Aaron Rodgers is the simple fact that he's motivated. If you look at last year, he had, I believe, what was it? He had 4,000 yards passing, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. In his career, he's had 51,245 yards and 412 touchdowns, 89 picks. He's yet to go over 100 interceptions. He's 37 years old. He has 4,852 yards. He has to average 4,852.1 yards in the next 6 years to tie Drew Brees. I think that's important to him because, as you see right now, Tom Brady is the type of quarterback. He's going to break Drew Brees. Right? He's only like 1,000 yards away. So I think that he's motivated because he wants to be Brady. That's why you're going to see him leave Green Bay. That's why he got it in his contract to leave, because he wants to be Brady next.
All right, Lamont, swinging to you, brother. What are your thoughts on this Green Bay situation and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest story has been between him and the Packers GM. You know, it's no secret that they don't get along. That you know, they can't coexist in the same room, basically on the same team. So I guess that's the meaning of The Last Dance. He's ready to do it, and obviously because of his talent alone. I mean, I do think the Packers have doubled the odds of going further in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers than without him. I mean, I still see them 9-11 games. Darrell, I know you're glad to have him back. You know, for my reasons, I'm not. But I hope he does well because I like AI-12. So just gonna double check on, baby.
Look, I'm just hoping for the best on this one. Joe, what are your thoughts on this situation, brother?
Salute to Aaron Rodgers. Okay, how many guys in their contract in the NFL has concessions put in it? You know what I'm saying? You transform into a new era where a guy that has a championship, that's good. You put 10 years in a franchise, that's good. And they still give you no train of thought, no inquiry, no knowledge, no breakdown of the game plan. Of course, you're going to be in your feelings. And, you know, so that competitive drive in him has got him back in day one. In day two, you're going to see Randall Cobb hired and re-brought back in on a trade. And the winning cures everything. So I think there's an optimistic chance for Green Bay to feel like there's a chance for this to continue. But obviously, one thing's for sure, Aaron Rodgers is driving the narrative, and it doesn't matter how you want to shake it up. They could lose in another NFC championship game. He's going to drive it to the foundation of how they did this. So that's what I believe in, is Aaron Rodgers driving the narrative.
All right. So good first go here at it on the quick takes, and I'm just glad he's back. But I know that, like you said, this is the last dance. We're going to see how things go from there. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I still have no expectations on this season because we really don't know how the locker room truly feels in this situation. The next one that we're going to head to in the conversation, we're going to talk the world champion Milwaukee Bucks. Last week, they were able to maybe call it the Mavericks / Miami Heat comeback. Both teams did it a while back. They were able to win 4 straight games to win the NBA championship in Milwaukee. So, the question at hand is this: can the Bucks repeat? I'm gonna start this one in reverse order. Joe, can the Bucks repeat?
Not a chance. Not a chance. They did everything they were supposed to do. They went through the trenches 2 years, battle tested. You know, they fought them battles with Eastern Conference Finals. They took the adversity. They did everything the NBA tells you to do to win a title. Now go on and get out the way and let some more of these superstars and teams with multiple superstars come back in healthy off of a full season's rest. And then you're going to see the narrative go right back to the routine. The 1 and 2 seeds will be in the conference finals, and you'll see how it pushes forward. So I believe that the Bucks will slide back because of Brooklyn's advancement, and plus the fact that you've won, it just takes that edge off. I think Milwaukee had to have that dog mentality to win. Of course, Phoenix, there could have been better competitors, but I just believe that the dog is gone now. That little bit of dog they needed to win, they got it. They got their chip, and now it's out the window, and it's in the Deer District. And so they're going to chill and enjoy the party.
All right. Lamont, so swinging to you on this one. Can Milwaukee repeat?
I don't think that they will repeat. I think it's really hard to repeat as NBA champions nowadays, and everything did have to go right for them to win. But I think the two most important people for them to repeat are the GM and John Hurst and Budenholzer and the coach. As far as horses, they're not going to be able to get players that are in free agency. right? Everything had to go right for them. The PJ Tucker, the guys that they experimented with, it took a process, So I mean, I think that it's going to be hard. They're going to have to, get players to fit that defensive minded scheme. The IQ players, players to be able to do that. And then as far as Budenholzer is concerned, I mean, you got to put some respect on his name. People were talking about coming. They forget that he does has 4 titles before this, as an assistant in San Antonio. So I mean, it took him years, to put together this team that he wanted. So just being in the degree of difficulty, I say no, they don't repeat.
All right. Next, we swing to Rob. What are your thoughts on this? Will the Bucks repeat?
Just a little bit of history. The league goes back to 1946 to 1947, where the Philadelphia Warriors beat the Chicago Stags. There have been 12 teams that have either repeated or had 3 peats or longer. One being the Boston Celtics, who won 7 straight from 59 to 66. And those 12 times has been very difficult. If you go back to the Golden State Warriors in 17 and 18, a lot of things had to go right. Milwaukee, you have a lot of good basketball teams, including the Brooklyn Nets, who are going to get healthy. If Kevin Durant doesn't step on the line, they advance. And it took them to a game 7. Even the Atlanta Hawks, if Trae Young doesn't get hurt. Even the Miami Heat. Let's just be honest. Miami Heat were hurt. They weren't feeling themselves. They weren't feeling well because they had just come off the bubble. That bubble was very hard on a lot of teams. So when you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, it's going to be difficult. They have a chance, but the East is going to be improved, so they're going to have to do a lot.
All right, Rob. I like that. I like the Miami Heat part. You know how I feel about that. Snowman, I saw you shaking your head when Joe was talking. I need to know what you're feeling on this one. Can the Bucks repeat?
No. They have the tools, they have the pieces, but no, they won't repeat. And it will not be because of the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets will not even make the playoffs next year. Given the fact that they were hurt, you can say that they were hurt all they want. The Brooklyn Nets will not finish above 5th in the Eastern Conference. Hell, I don't think they'll make the playoffs because there's no continuity like there is in Milwaukee and in Miami. And I even throw the Boston Celtics into the situation. No continuity whatsoever. The team I do have winning the next 2, scratch that. 3 championships. It ain't Milwaukee. It ain't Brooklyn. It sure as hell ain't the Lakers, because the Lakers won't even get in the playoffs next year. They had to go through the play-in to get smoked by the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be all about the return of the Golden State Warriors. And Snowman's done.
I knew you were going there with it. I said, I feel Golden State coming around the corner. That's a very interesting take. We heard the rumors of Golden State trying to move up in the draft. We heard them trying to look for another superstar. We've heard Bradley Beal's name out there. Boy, that could be a very interesting one if that decides or if that goes down. Next one, we had the baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. I don't know what to really tell you about this logo.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what to tell you about this logo, but the Cleveland Indians are no longer. At least, they won't be no longer at the end of the season. They will be known as the Cleveland Guardians. The GM came out and said the reason why he did it, he feels like that the team helped protect the city. It was a crazy reason why they did it. I'm still kind of baffled by it. I'm going to start this one off. With LT. What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Guardians? Because I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, I did do a little bit of research, and there is a little bit of sense to it. Being they've been the name the Guardians is after the Guardians of Traffic. Now what that is those are stone sculptures that were built in the 1930s in the city of Cleveland on the major bridge. Okay, and so I think the reasoning that they gave is that they wanted to mean something to Clevelanders. So of course people outside of Cleveland are not gonna understand, right? If you haven't been in there, you haven't seen these sculptures. But apparently that's something that is built into the history of Cleveland. I do understand. I get it. They probably wanted to keep it close to the Indian name, but it's not sexy, right? Like it's not something that we go, oh, Cleveland Guardians, yeah, let me go support that. Longtime Indian fans are not excited at all about the Guardians. I mean, you're gonna have your fan gripe back, you're gonna have the feedback, but winning cures all. So I mean, if they can get in there and get behind it, who knows?
All right, I'm gonna swing to Rob on this one. Before Rob said something, the first thing I thought when I saw this logo was that the Cleveland Indians and the Anaheim Angels, like the logo before last.
They had a baby.
Hey, Rob, you mind if I let Joe go? I'm gonna let Joe go first since I kind of spoiled the switch. Joe, go ahead, man. Go ahead and give me.
I just got one sentence. It sounded like a AAA Anaheim Angels team. Is what it sounded like. It was like Cleveland Guardians. I was like, they got a AAA team in Cleveland for Anaheim.
Oh man,
like, no, it's the Indians' new name. And I was like, oh, there got to be some history. So thank you, Lamonte, for filling me in on the history because they was AAA to me.
Oh man! All right, Rob, we head to you on this one. What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Guardians, brother?
Before I get to the Guardians, just real quick, Dak Prescott has outdated day with the shoulder strain. Just wanted to break news on that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This is my perspective on this, and I'm going at it from a different angle. According to the World Population Review, Cleveland is ranked as the 7th most dangerous city in the United States. In Washington, D.C., there's a crime rate of 54 per 1,000 residents in Washington, D.C. As you see, both of them changed their names. Also, I went to powwows.com, and I want to read this. Contemporary Native Americans face many challenges today. If you watch the news, you'll see headlines on mascots, celebrities wearing headdresses, and pipelines. While these are important issues, there are many other issues facing the communities that are more significant. So what I'm saying is we have to stop playing this political game because Native Americans are facing a lot more issues than just mascots and headdresses. Get to the real deep issues. Get us to the fabric of what the real issues are.
Love it, Rob. I love it. Snowman, the Cleveland Guardians. What are your thoughts, brother?
In the form of a question, what in the Vita blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell is that logo? And that name? I'm thinking along the lines of minor league Anaheim Angels and minor league Cleveland Indians got together, smushed their logos together in a room that had so much powder in it that had no windows, so no air could seep in. And of course, there was tequila piled up high to the top of the ceiling, and they came up with that logo. Okay? Winning cures all. True. But A, the Indians are busy getting their ass kicked by 10 games in the Central Division to my beloved Chicago White Sox. And B, who drew that? I mean, I understand changing the name. I'm not going to make light of them changing the name and the reasons they're in. But who drew that?
Hey, that's the first thing that came to my mind. And we all know our beloved Jay Quimby on here is a hardcore Indians fan. So the first thing I was the one that broke the news to him. And when I sent him the message and said, hey, man, congratulations, you got yourself a new name. You know how Jay is.
You probably can repeat what he said back.
He definitely said a 4-letter word.
I knew it.
So you already know how that was going down. It had me in tears. All right, y'all, that was Quick Takes here on Legacy on Fire. Now we're heading to our main topics on the show. And for those who are new to the show and trying to figure out, well, what exactly is our main topics, this is how it goes. Each panelist will have 1 minute to give their opinion on a topic. Then after each panelist has went, each panelist will get 30 seconds to go back and fire back and give their rebuttal on what anybody said during that time frame. And then, of course, after this segment, we will have the Legacy, to put out the Fire segment here on Legacy on Fire. Now, we're going to start this one off with another controversy that's been kind of loading up lately, and that's the fact that the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns say, hey, Big 12, we're out of here. And so my thoughts, we had a big discussion in our group chat a couple of days ago here on Legacy about this situation. So I couldn't wait to get this topic up on here today so we could talk about if the Texas and Oklahoma should be allowed to go to the SEC. Well, I'm going to start this one off, ladies and gentlemen, let's see who hasn't went first yet. We'll go with Rob. Rob, what are your thoughts on Texas and Oklahoma potentially moving to the SEC?
For me, if anybody knows about college football, I respect tradition. When Texas A&M left the Big 12, I was very disheartened because I love the Texas A&M rivalry. But I understand now why A&M left. If you look at the record, A&M, when they faced Texas, They were 70. Texas is 76-37-5 against A&M, which is crazy. Also, when you look at Texas, they are 7-1-1 all time against Bama, 7-8-1 against LSU. But here's the craziest thing, and I had to make sure I got this right. Texas is 0-1 versus South Carolina, and they have a losing record against Vanderbilt. They are 3-8-1 against Vanderbilt all time. Oklahoma, it looks like they're 3-1-2 versus Bama. Look, guys, it's all about the money. Alabama and Texas should be allowed to do it because I want to see the rivalry in them, and it's going to bring in money and it's going to bring in eyes. Think about Oklahoma against Alabama at night or LSU at night. It's going to be fun.
It would be fun to see. It would be fun to see. Snowman, what are your thoughts on Texas and Oklahoma heading to the SEC?
Oklahoma and Texas will still play in the Red River Shootout, although this time, when the joining does happen, it may move to Jerry World and it may be played at night. I ain't happy with that, but I have reasons beyond that. Texas A&M and Texas, that rivalry will be renewed. I can dig that. Why did the NCAA usurp money from the Southwest Conference, where they all were in the first place? Why did the NCAA usurp money from the Big 8 Conference? Hello, Missouri. Okay? You could have easily taken money and given it to those two conferences, and their traditions can stay alive. It took Texas and Oklahoma together, I wonder who started that argument, to make a request to join the SEC. The SEC is becoming too powerful for its own good. Does it bring back rivalries? Yeah, but with the NCAA having money hand over fist now, you can revive the Southwest Conference, or you can revive the Big 8 Conference and bring all the old rivalries back.
All right, Lamont, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think ultimately what this is going to be a power struggle between the NCAA and the committee that is the CFP, right? So now you have the college football playoffs having their own monopoly over, that post regular season play, right? So obviously these teams who are heavily dominated by football programs, right, they're trying to get into the money. We all know that. So the Big 12 was given $1.8 million per team in the Big 12 in last year, which was about I think it was about a little less than a quarter of $1 million less than 2018, meaning that they're giving less money. Oklahoma and Texas saw that, and they say, hey, well, why don't we just jump ship? Because what they're after is ESPN's 10-year deal with basketball and football with the SEC beginning in 2024. And now that's why they have all the leverage. So that's basically what that is.
Go on, Lamont. Good. I love Lamont. When you come on here, it's just that deep knowledge, my man. I always learn something when Lamont comes on Legacy on Fire. Go, give me something on this one, brother.
Turn it up.
Man, it's very simple. I'm going to quarterback right off of him. I believe that Texas and Oklahoma are coming to their demise with this move. I'll even co-sign with Robb right here as to what I think he was saying. Maybe I'm wrong. But they're going to be in the middle of the pack when they come in. This is a men's league they're joining. It's a conference that already has an established way of play. I think it's going to take some adjustments for them. So ultimately, that means they're there for the money. Anytime $75 million doesn't scare you away. Of course, when Maryland left and went from the ACC to Big Ten, they had a $50 million fine that went to court and lowered down to 30. So if you can just take off a little shave of that and then think about the money coming back to you from the SEC, they're not worried about that. My thing is just like he said, college football playoffs, 12 teams, SEC is going to have 5 every year, and then it's going to be in a situation where the other 3 conferences are trying to keep up. So they're going to pull everything out of the Big 8, whatever's left of the Big 12, or how many teams is left.
All right. So we're going to go with Robb here for his chance to fire back. Robb, it's your chance to fire back, sir.
And even though I like it, what really scares me and what really is going to be in my mind is that I don't want this turning college basketball. We pay attention to every college football game. A lot of people don't really pay attention to basketball until you get to the tournament. Now you have a situation, like you said, in the SEC, where they're going to be middle of the pack. And it's going to be a tough situation. And you have to look beyond football. Think about the parents now who have to travel from Oklahoma to Florida to watch a tennis match.
Snowman, your chance to fire back, sir.
Oklahoma and Texas are done. after they joined the SEC, because except for the Red River rivalry and Texas A&M, how much interesting is it going to be? Everybody's still going to pay attention to LSU and Auburn. They're going to still pay attention to LSU and Bama. They're going to still pay attention to Bama and Auburn. Miracle of Jordan Hare revisited. It's the middle of the pack kind of situation, and Oklahoma and Texas jumped in for the money, and that's all.
Yeah, I mean that. I gotta feel I'm waiting on mine. Lamont, give me your chance to fire back.
Biggest loser of this, of course, is the NCAA itself, because, like I said, it's all it's a ploy to overthrow them and dismantle their conglomerate, right? So the two biggest things, the factors in this, is that the media marketplace isn't certain because of how sports are watched nowadays, and because the collegiate athletes are no longer considered property, right? So now that they have those rights to their intellectual selves and their names, that's what this is about. Teams trying to grab money.
All right, Joe, get your chance to fire back, sir.
Of course, they're selling likeness. Now that the players can make money, where else to be other than the SEC with 200,000 alumni cheering for you Saturday morning and sliding that into your pocket saying, let's go get one, buddy.
And tailgate like crazy. And tailgate like crazy.
I'm an ACC guy, 100%, but there's nothing like SEC football Saturdays. I mean, Tennessee hasn't won a title in forever. They're still relevant on Saturdays. There's so many prideful programs. Ole Miss hasn't won anything in forever. They're still prideful. So, big environment, big money, big business.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing real quick, Darrell?
Yeah, Rob.
All right. Everybody knows I'm a big, huge Miami Hurricanes fan, etc. If you look at the landscape of college football, what has happened to Miami, Virginia Tech, Missouri? Who else was it? From the Nebraska, Maryland, Syracuse,
Colorado.
When you got rid of the day after Thanksgiving tradition with them in Nebraska, which was great. Those teams haven't done anything.
Nope.
Be careful what you wish for. Just like I told Tennessee fans back then with Philip Fulmer, be careful what you wish for. They've been irrelevant since. You can go from being okay to being irrelevant. Be very careful what you wish for. Texas, Oklahoma.
All right. Now, only thing I will say for this is I think this hurts Oklahoma more than anything. Because when you're winning the Big 12 every year and you're going undefeated in the Big 12 every year or losing one game in the Big 12, guess who's getting that playoff spot most of the time? Oklahoma. Now you're going to go to the SEC and put yourself in a spot where you can be 12-2, 11-2, and then guess what? LSU and them are right there behind you, or you got Alabama. You got 3 or 4 teams that are always in the national title hunt. That's not even to mention Georgia, who will sneak in every now and then and in the national title hunt. So guess what? You mess yourselves up. That's just my opinion on that one.
Well, here's the last thing too. You have to remember, somebody can leave the SEC too. I mean, I'm thinking about a team like Arkansas. Arkansas could go to the Big 12 the next 2 years, win the conference.
They could.
Arkansas started this in 1990 when they left the Southwest Conference and joined the SEC. Arkansas started. It's come full circle now. Arkansas started this in 1990, and I'm just taking this from the time I started watching college football, which was 1980. Arkansas was the first team to jump ship from what they would consider a fledgling football conference that they basically owned to a conference that they could jump into and make immediate money from. Arkansas started this in 1990, and now it's going to kick them in the rear end even further.
Every team in California, San Diego State, you're looking at outside of California, Boise State. You look at all the small schools. It is going to start to become crazy. And I'm going to tell you 2 teams that you really got to watch: Cincinnati and Houston.
That's one.
Watch those 2 teams. They're going to be in high demand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, now we're going to head on to our next topic in our main topics, and that is USA basketball. Now, it's been on and off, like you see a couple months, all right, they look like team of old. They have not looked crisp at all during these Olympics. It has been on and off. They do have Drew Holiday and Devin Booker added onto the team. I might be missing another person, but they have come back from their NBA Finals, games, and now they're over there in Tokyo. But it has not looked good at all. Losing to France the other day, I think they did beat. I think they played Iran, or it was the Iraq, and they beat them. But
they beat Iran.
It was Iran, so they've looked pretty rough. So I'm going to go with the fellas here. I want to know What y'all think on Team USA? Because this thing it's been ugly. And I'm gonna start this one off with Joe. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a testament to the 92 Dream Team. The 92 Dream Team might have increased the rating of our USA teams. Let's say you get the best of whoever's in America right now. It may be 1 point better than the Dream Team, maybe 1 point below. I don't care how you rate it. But whoever the Dream Team played, everybody has grown 15 to 20 points better since being whooped by the Dream Team. And you have a team like Nigeria that has a full starting lineup of NBA players. You have France that has NBA players. You have teams that have built a culture that is longer than just coming for a weekend and playing. So, when you don't bring the best of the best, the creme de la creme, to the show, you can't pay Popovich slow, share the ball basketball because you don't have time for it. So you got to bring the ball, put it in Dame Lillard's hands, put it in KD's hands at different times, play off of these guys, and then make coaching adjustments as the game goes along.
So Joe, let me be clear. You're blaming Pop for this.
I am 100% blaming. If Pop is trying to put that
share the ball, I just wanted to make sure. LT, the swinging brother, what are your thoughts on this USA team, and who's to blame for the struggles they're having?
If I have to blame somebody, I'm going to go with the leaders on the court. I believe that the difference between prior USA teams and these teams now are, the style of basketball, particularly, and the leaders, right? Like, you look at, of course, in the games they lost, KD and Dame, they weren't themselves. They didn't play well. KD fouled out of the France game. You got Dame, who definitely wasn't on like we usually see him in game time. His fashion, he's usually tearing it up. He wasn't, and it's because they have to get acclimated to each other, right? Draymond will tell you he is a leader. He's always been a leader in whatever team he's played on. He came right out and said we need to play defensively better. They haven't. They played poorly defensively. So you have that, and then you have the leaders on the court. You could see it. KD. He hasn't really done it by himself yet. That is still remains to be seen. I mean, he can score points. That's fine in this game and fashion. But at the end of the day, you got to get the best out of your teammates.
All right. Snowman, we're heading to you on this one, man. What are your thoughts on this bad boy?
Can we just bring back 1992, please? Yeah. Because there is just no pride with this USA team. And the pride has been dwindling since 1994. And that was the team with Shaquille and Reggie Miller and the rest of those guys. Now, granted, the Team USA in 1996 in Atlanta ran roughshod through everybody in front of 30,000 people every day at the Georgia Dome. But this ain't 1992. This ain't 1996. This is current time. This is 2021. And the best two-word phrase that my father ever taught me, God rest his soul, no excuses. All I see from this USA team is a bunch of excuses. Now, I don't mean in terms of the talent. I mean in terms of their performance. Where is the team play? Where are the fundamentals that are necessary? You can blame Greg Popovich all you want, but in the end, it comes down to the players. And as the late, great Jim Durham said during a blowout loss to the Dallas Mavericks by the Bulls, the execution is up to you.
All right.
Snowman.
Rob, what do you got on this one, brother?
A lot of excuses. And let me say this. Since 2019, Greg Popovich is 32-39, 33-39. He lost his wife in 2018. His mind hasn't been the same since. He's kind of like, that's not his fault. Life happens to you. So I think they should have got another guy because Pop hasn't been Pop, right? But when you go back to the game against Spain, Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant were 7 of 22 from the field. Damian Lillard is a great player, but he doesn't always come up when he needs to come up. The series against Denver, a team that was injured, a team that they should have beaten, they lost in the first round. They have a bunch of guys who have talent. But for me, guys like Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, they should start. Tatum should start over Green every game. That's what I'm saying. But Green started the game against France. They need to make these proper adjustments because if they don't, they're going to end up getting beat.
All right. So that's the first part of this. Now with your chance to fire back, Joe, this is your chance to fire back, sir. What you got for me?
It's a pecking order missing is all it is. Y'all saying it's not the play or the coach, it should be the players. It's a pecking order missed. In the 92 Dream Team, Michael Jordan went down there and said, Larry and Magic, step the hell over now. It's my show. We're going to run this through me. We can still share the ball. We can still play flashy. We can still play fundamental ball, and it's better than everybody else. But there was a pecking order. You saw when we lost the game to Nigeria, the ball was moved around so much, there was no assassin out there because they're trying to play pop ball. They're trying to be friends. They're trying to make the extra pass. We're out here to do one thing. That's get goals. That's it. So if Dame got to score 30, and then it's whatever it takes. And so this is doing it the right way. You only had 4 days to play together. You got to go out and win, man. It's not about how to play. It's to win.
LT, your chance to fire back, sir.
I'm with Snowman. The execution is everything, man. IQ. I can't stress it enough. In these two exhibition games they lost, they lived and died by the three, right? Just like we watch with college basketball teams, just like we watch with these new age teams where shooting has become the proficiency, right? So stop shooting the ball, and like you said, you got to take it. You got to take it. Nobody's going to give it to you. They're not playing defense with you sitting out there shooting threes. Go get it.
That's the roster they set up,
and I blame the leaders for that.
That's the roster they set up.
That's what I'm
All right, Snowman, your chance to fire back.
There are no leaders on this team. Let's just be absolutely clear right now. There are no leaders on this team, because if there were leaders on this USA team, the pride would be there, the execution would be there, the shots would be there, everything would be as hard and as crisp like it was in 1992. Remember, you heard the stories come out. The 1992 Dream Team win each other every day in practice, hard. And Michael Jordan, the legendary and the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, said it best. The way you do in practice is the way you'll perform in the game.
Oh, no. Right. They got beat. Hold on real quick, Darrell. They got beat.
They did in exhibition. They got beat.
College players because they tried to play share the ball mentality. That was that, we're going to be. Chuck Daly brought out the college players, and they won against them the first time. Chris Webber, all of them went and then they brought it together. But that was the point. That was the point I was making. That's why I said what Jim Durham said. The execution is up to you. When they got beat by those college players, it woke them up, and it woke them up before the tournament of that was the point I was making. And thank you, Joe, for reminding me of that. USA basketball needs a wake-up call. Number one, and I know I'm going over time, so I'll leave you with this. Number two, and people are going to hate me for this, they need to clean house.
Rob, 30 seconds to fire back, sir.
Yeah, this whole thing about not having continuity and not you playing the All-Star game. I know these guys have seen each other in the All-Star game. I know they talked. I know they give each other and play ball in the offseason. Tatum plays with these guys in the offseason. The bottom line is you look at it, right? And this goes back to the Golden State Warriors. You look at Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. Who's missing? Who's missing? Exactly. I don't even have to say their names. So what I'm saying is the leadership needs to be there. Kevin Durant, he has burner accounts. He wants to talk a lot. Well, talk a lot now. Be a man in front of people now, Kevin Durant.
Thank you.
Be a man in front of people. Because what you're showing me, because what Kevin Durant is showing me is that he's an internet thug. Be a thug. Be a thug in these streets when it's time to be a thug on the court. When it's repping time, like Jim Jones said.
Be a thug on the court. Be a thug on the court when it's time to be. Exactly. When it's winning time, that's when you need to show up and show out.
The problem is that Kevin Durant and Dame Lillard defers to Draymond Green, who has more chips. That's not how this works.
Not when you 4 for 12 from the field, Joe.
Leader.
If you 4 for 12 from the field, you 4 for 12 from the field. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't talk about it. Be about it. You gotta be about it.
All right. So real quick, fellas, and I want one word answers or one phrase answers on this one. I'm gonna start with Joe. Who should coach? Who should be the new leadership? Who should be the new coach of Team USA when we hit the 2024 Olympics or whenever after?
Best record of the All-Star coaches over history. The guy that can make the All-Star game intriguing. It's not specifically one guy. It's a guy that's probably relatable. So I know I kind of went further, but you gotta have a guy that coaches All-Stars. Pop does not coach All-Stars. Steve Kerr does a better job, and he's sitting on the sideline as an assistant saying, what the hell's going on?
There you go.
Lamont, who would you have on this one?
Yeah, I say somebody who can to bring these stars in. I'm with Joe. So I mean, maybe Steve Kerr can do it. I like Spoelstra. I mean, he's done it. Your guy Darrell. I think people respect them. People respect people who've done it with stars.
Snowman.
Steve Kerr, definitely. People say he doesn't deserve the titles that he's got, and he doesn't coach stars. I believe he has coached the stars he has on his team to 3 titles in 5 years.
That would be true. Rob, who would you put in charge of Team USA?
Tom Thibodeau with LeBron James as his assistant.
Hey, I got the general manager for you.
Man, you just made me choke on my dinner.
I like Thibodeau. I understand.
Terrell, I know you'll love it, but I want Pat Riley running the show.
Man,
you know what? I won't argue.
Like Pat can come out there
won't
and
argue.
cool. But I mean, I agree. I think it's somebody who can coach stars and can kind of let them, be them. Because like you said, if Pop was going to run this team, the JaVale McGee's of the world, JaVale McGee is a perfect Pop type of player. You know what I'm saying? Those are the players that he needs to bring in if that's what he wanted in an all-star team. But because of the dream team, where we have the mindset that we have to have the best players out there, we have to have these super all-star teams instead of putting a team together that works for that coach. And so if that coach would have said, well, I don't want Durant on my team because he doesn't work, that's a whole controversy. That's a whole other story.
Listen, guys. The bottom line is that if you remember when we lost at the time before when we won the bronze, I believe it was 06, 08 or whatever before LeBron and those guys came on. I think it was 04.
I want to say
04. 2004.
No matter what we do going forward, this Olympics has been embarrassing. You have embarrassed your country. You have embarrassed your nation. Yep. You have embarrassed the American flag. The next time we come to these Olympics, we need to dominate. We need to take the next 4 years and we need to get things together. We need to dominate. Take this seriously. Greg Popovich has been getting passed from the media for the last 10 years. Pop comes on interviews. He's a smart ass. No other coach can get away with that. So what I'm saying is that he's gotten so comfortable that it's all good in his mind. It's not all good, guys. This is embarrassing. Represent your country if you're going to do it. If you're not, don't do it at all, please.
Yeah, but don't be oblivious to that gap close.
Let's go ahead and swing to our next topic here. Now, we've been trying to stay on and have one NFL topic as our main topic no matter what as we get closer to the season. I've been kind of leaving these dry ones out there kind of just to get a feel where everybody thinks this is going to go. So this topic that we're going to do for this one is going to be a fun one because I got a feeling the Packers are going to be in there at some point. Which team will be the biggest disappointment this NFL season? I'm going to start this one off with Rob.
You just answered your own question.
All right, guys. So check this out. They're like when we're talking points, we're not talking about teams who didn't win last year, etc.
No.
And my team simply is the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to tell you why. If you look at their schedule, Cincinnati, they won 35-30. They beat Washington. They beat Dallas. They beat the Giants, which was a mediocre division last year. They beat the Colts by a pretty good margin. They only beat the Bengals 37-34. They lost to the Raiders. They only beat the Texans by 3 points. They only beat the Eagles by 5. They beat Jacksonville by 2. They won against Tennessee, but it was by 6 points. They lost to the Jets 23-16. Guys, here's the bottom line. And here's the thing when you talk about the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski, when he was in Minnesota, he had issues with Diggs, right? He had issues with Diggs because Diggs run more passes. Who's coming up for the Browns who needs to revive his career? Odell Beckham Jr. So what I'm saying is that Cleveland's going to have a big issue because, and if you let me expound a little bit more,
I'll give you 5 more seconds.
Okay. Those receivers are going to want the ball. They owe over $100 million. But for Cleveland to really be good, they're going to have to run the ball. So I think Cleveland's going to run into a lot of issues. When you look at their schedule, they have a tough schedule.
All right. I'm going to go with LT on this one. Biggest disappointment. Who's going to be that team that just disappoints the heck of us during this season?
I mean, I get the metric. You want somebody who's expected to do well and won't. But I'm sorry, I got to keep the obvious out there. I mean, I feel like these are all NFL teams, all grown men. They're all getting paid. They're all expected to go out there and do their jobs at the end of the day. I can't even – when I look at the Houston Texans and what they've been doing in these past few years, when I was taking my notes, I couldn't even finish writing the name on the paper. That's how incomplete they are as a team. Like, it's ridiculous. We don't know why they're doing what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they know what they're doing, right? Like, a couple years ago, they were the favorites in their division to win. And I don't understand where they're going. So the lack of direction, it creeps me out. I got to go with the Houston Texans. I'm sorry. They probably don't have any expectations, but that's how bad they are.
Hashtag tank for Sam. That's even if they even have the pick. That's all I'm saying.
I
They
don't
may
get
not
it.
even have the pick because they've traded all their picks away. Snowman, give me your most disappointed team.
It's going to be the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Because of the drama they went through with Aaron Rodgers. They're bringing back Randall Cobb, who is now 8 years older. They're seeking Jordy Nelson. And, the problem that they've had the last 2 years, I made Darrell shake his head on that one. And the problem that they had the last 2 years, especially in the NFC Championship, they don't know how to stop the running game. Darrell and I did. I was on Darrell's show the week they predicted the NFC Championship, and Darrell had this look on his face when he asked me for a score, and I originally said 45-20. Well, the Niners got 37, and I'll never forget what Darrell said. He said, "We're just going to pray about it and see what happens." Well, as long as they have Coach Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, and the lack of a running game, I don't see Green Bay getting in the playoffs.
Joe, tell me your most disappointed team this season.
That's tough. You know,
I know
Aaron Rodgers did go back and explain the Jordy Nelson 9 year ago situation, by the way. So Aaron still got a 9-year itch with that feeling. Houston Texans, I definitely get it, but there shouldn't even be an expectation from their fans. It is no expectation. Rob, I get it 100% that, you think that that's the route that Cleveland's supposed to go with the pressure. I just think they're riding a high, so I'm not going to pick on them, but that's a good pick, Rob. I'm going to go one further. Who stretched the last 2 years to try to find a quarterback to save them and is now wasting their defense on a losing quarterback from the Philadelphia Eagles? I am saying the Indianapolis Colts will fall on their face.
You are out of your rabbit picking mind.
They have given the keys to the head honcho that wants to mass suicide.
Get him, Joe.
He wants to go.
Get him, Joe.
Get him, Joe.
It's lonely at the top.
Get him.
He's Flash Gordon. He's lonely at the top.
Get him.
Carson Wentz.
Hey, Joe, a question. Who's your team?
3-time Super Bowl champions.
And they are?
There ain't too many. I'll let you figure that out.
That's hilarious.
Will you just say who your team is?
Only two. If you're the coach, you're only two. Washington.
Will you just say the doggone? Washington Redskins. Darrell. No, Washington Redskins. Darrell, let me fire back.
Are you?
I'm an old school fan. Darrell, let me fire back at him right now.
Baltimore fan. Which one are you? Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, who do you got?
Okay, Joe. This one's for.
Do you want Snowman to take it, Rob?
Go ahead.
All right, Snowman, go ahead.
Joe, this one's for you. We're having fun here. Joe, you are out of your rat picking mind if you think the Indianapolis Colts are going to fall flat. The Tennessee Titans are going to fall flat in that same division because they only have one weapon, and that's Derrick Henry. No. Listen, what was the blame for Carson Wentz failing in Philadelphia? An offensive line, no receivers, no running game. He's got all three. And he's got a better quarterback coach. Yeah, that's Tennessee's line. And we still got a better coach. And besides, there's a very pretty lady that's a big-time Indianapolis Colts fan, so I'm being nice. So I'm supporting the Indianapolis. Actually, two very pretty ladies. One that I'm married to, and one was born there, and I lost her 2 years later to natural causes. So there's a big part of my heart that has a horseshoe around it. All right.
All right, nothing wrong with that.
I got you. Rob, your chance to fire back, sir.
Tell Carson Wentz to earn his horseshoe.
So going back to Cleveland Browns, guys. They're at KC, Chicago, Miami, at LA Chargers, Arizona. They got a very underrated Denver Broncos team who I think is going to be really good. They go to the Pats, which they historically have issues going there. They got Oakland. They got the division. And then you have two irrelevant teams in Detroit and Houston. So what I'm saying, guys, is that if you look at Cleveland overall, they have a tough schedule this year, and the pressure is going to be on. Now, let me get to you guys. Houston, I totally agree. Indianapolis, they got to worry about Jacksonville. The whole division worry about Jacksonville because Trevor Lawrence and his overall what he's done over the years And when it comes, and Joe, who did you say the team? The Colts, right? It wouldn't shock me if Jacoby Brissett was starting by week 5.
Or Phillip Rivers out of retirement.
Well, wait a minute. Now, Jacoby Brissett is in Miami. So
I'm sorry.
Oh,
So
see, Rob, you should have taken that power nap when you had a chance.
Well, like I said, I forgot he was in Miami. I apologize.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is that when it comes to Carson Wentz, this is make or break for him. This is it. And like I said, the AFC South is going to be a lot harder when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be improved, Snowman. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be. Yes, they are. What is Trevor Lawrence has won at every level he's been at? What's
except this one because he has no line. There is no line in front of him.
He's an athletic quarterback.
Okay, and
your chance to fire back, sir.
Bro, when it comes to the AFC South, I'm about to channel my Denzel Washington. Y'all ready?
Go ahead, bring it out.
We're going to change the way we block. We're going to change the way we tackle. We're going to change the way. I'm joking. No, but seriously, remember the Titans, bro. Titans got that on lock. So, yeah. Colts.
No, they don't.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I love King Henry. I love King Henry. I love King Henry, but I love King Henry, but who the hell is Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah. He's been showing us.
Real quick.
And let me tell you this, he ain't Carson Wentz. That's for sure.
Yeah, because Carson Wentz is better.
All right. Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and have Joe fire back, and then I'll let everybody go back in a second. Joe, go ahead and fire back.
Go ahead, John.
Look at Rob.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, the Indianapolis feeling. My thing is that they have all the pieces together, and they're relying on this savior to come in, and it's like it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Carson Wentz is not going to be able to deliver the way he needs to under pressure. I don't see Houston in any pressure. I don't see Cleveland in any pressure, believe it or not, because they've never been in this situation. So I just don't get it. But
which is why Cleveland's going to regress. Extra point. Hey, Darrell, add a section to your show called Extra Point. And I'll only take 5 seconds with this. I can make all of you laugh and be angry with me at the same time with the following statement. Lamar Jackson's going to regress big time.
Anybody want to comment on that? Everybody's like,
that's not a hard statement to make.
Like,
yeah, I don't think so.
Right.
That's not a hard statement to make.
And you know what? My thing with that, if you look at that situation, I mean, we know he found out, hope and speedy recovery from COVID today. We found out he Robb broke that this morning. So hopefully he gets better from that. But I mean, we still don't know who his receivers are. Like, I mean, Hollywood Brown, and then he's got they just
and then who else?
I just don't think they have enough on offense, and people are figuring them out. In the end, it's just not going to work. They've got to figure something out.
And then I'll add this comparison. I'll compare Lamar Jackson to Colin Kaepernick because there's a common denominator. His name is Greg Roman.
And now, Rob, I know you had something to say. Anything we say before we move on?
Well, yeah. What I wanted to say again is that, first of all, you look at Ryan Tannehill in the playoff game, he regressed, and he's going to start regressing, but he's still better than Carson Wentz. But let me say this for the Colts. I think that I said this before. This preseason is important. People say preseason doesn't matter. You have got to watch the preseason, the quarterback battles, etc. And now I have the names for the Colts, and these are some interesting names: Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger. One from Washington, one from Texas. I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying they're going to take over a job in Indianapolis, but I'm just saying Carson Wentz better not get too comfortable, because these guys were pretty decent in college, and who knows, something could happen. Just saying, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that he's gonna be there. And as far as the Titans go, I think all I'm gonna say is Julio Jones. Look back at what happened to Randy Moss when he got into his 30s and he went to Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And aside of that, Julio Jones is coming off an injury.
Yeah,
he's injured every year.
And he's 32.
We know that.
It's sexy name wise, but that's what I said. We'll see. I mean, I don't even like besides AJ Brown, yes, if you got Julio, that does help him out in Tennessee a smidget, but he's got to stay healthy. If not, I mean, that Corey Davis leaving is bigger than what people think it will be.
Yes, it is.
Tight end too.
Darrell,
real quick, because we got to go really quick. Because to go back to my Cleveland Browns point, do you know that in the first 3 years of his career, Odell Beckham caught 4,122 yards worth of passes? Since then, he's only caught 2,708. He has, let me make sure I got the stat right. I also want to make sure I have it. He has 51 career touchdown catches. I think in the last 4 years, he only has about 15, 16?
So, 16.
16. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
He's desperate. He's desperate this year. That's all I'm saying about Cleveland. Cleveland is desperate. They want contracts. Baker wants a contract. So I'm just saying about Cleveland. I'm just saying about Cleveland.
One final piggyback to the Cleveland Browns. Do not be surprised if OBJ is traded midseason.
Yeah.
To the Chicago Bears. I predict he's, and that's why they moved Anthony Miller, because they are looking at him. I guarantee it.
To be fair, he only played 7 games last year, and in those 7 games he had 3 touchdowns. So just to be fair, that kind of puts a skew in what you were getting.
The best availability.
Just to be fair,
what is it? The best.
The best
availability is availability.
Yeah, I agree.
He's never
I agree. But he didn't play the full season. That's all I was saying.
Is he gonna play the full season this year?
I don't know.
Neither is Julio Jones. So neither is Julio Jones. So we're even.
I agree.
Right, it is time for my favorite segment of the show. It is time for
Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right, it is time to put out the fires. We're winding down here to end the show, and I was debating. I didn't know who I wanted to go first on this. I know who's going last. I know in my mind who's going last for sure. And I think he knows who's going last as well. But I wanted to get this thing started. So, you know what, LT, why don't you go ahead and put out the fire first, sir?
I don't have too many gripes these days, bro. But as far as USA basketball, though, I do want to see them get it together, man. I feel like what we're missing is the old heads, and we're missing some of the dog. Like, you say what you want about Russell Westbrook, bro. He's one of the most competitive dudes I've ever seen. Put him on the court. Carmelo Anthony, the all-time USA scorer. What's up with that? They left my man's off the drain. He's the only four-time gold medalist. What's up? Come on, man. Give me some veterans. That's all I'm saying. Give me some veterans. Give me some leadership, because like we just said, that's what this team is missing. Not only that, but I mean, if y'all really want to just go off and show off individual performances, just put a four-person team together and take over the 3-on-3, which is garbage, by the way, because it's ref absolutely terrible. Which is why I understand why the USA doesn't have a team to begin with. But that's what it is. If you want to show off individual talent, do something where you can show off individual talent, which is the 3-on-3. If not, put a team together and play as a team and bring the goal home, man.
All righty, Joe, your chance to put out the fire, sir.
Oh, thank you. NCAA polls. NCAA, who has won over, no, I'm sorry, they didn't win nothing, who has gained over billions of dollars from the likeness of these college athletes, and they are making a big mockery of these kids being able to now make a free food sponsorship or free clothing sponsorship. Oh, we're giving back. They're getting opportunities now. NCAA, it's a wrap. You're done in 5 years. It's going to be a new blueprint. It's going to be a new model. Football is going to drive it, and basketball is going to rely on the 64 tournament. So at the end of the day, if football gets it together and unifies, NCAA needs to go ahead and get rid of the title, because all that free money is gone. It is going straight to the conference. It's going straight to the schools and straight to people who know where that money's going, not 7 people on the board of the NCAA, Mr. Emmett and all the other guys.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our next person, I did see something earlier where they were saying the number 1 quarterback in the country, high school quarterback, is planning on skipping his senior year to head to Ohio State potentially, just so he can get the money. Man, this thing is going to be different. I saw that. I was like, wow, how many high school If that happens, how many high schools are really just going to be
Alabama's quarterback has made over $1 million already.
That's crazy. It's big money, but we're happy. Look, I'm happy for him.
Welcome to the SEC.
Welcome to the SEC. Rob, your chance to put out the fire, sir.
Stop disrespecting our business. And what I mean by that is I recently heard Brendan Haywood on a live broadcast saying, hey, this ain't work, you know? I heard Max Kellerman, who is the same guy who said hockey's not important, who's the same guy who said that Tom Brady was going to fall off a cliff, the same guy who was trying to explain to me about vaccines and how, you know, trying to explain to me about the Tuskegee experiment. First of all, as an African-American and you as a Caucasian male, don't try to explain to me about the Tuskegee experiment. That's my business. That's stuff my people went through, so don't go there with me. Second of all, let me say this about him. You are a guy who comes on first take saying, oh, this isn't work. This is easy. We don't do any work. Mass communications, the work that Darrell does, Lamont, the work that Joe does, the Snowman, it is a hard business. Editing, doing stories, prepping. You think we just came on here tonight and didn't prep any? You think we came on here tonight and just talking out of our asses? Respect us. I'm a local journalist. Let me give me a little bit of time. I'm a local journalist. I work my ass off. Okay, I work my ass off. I not only do local news, I do sports news, I do court, etc. Respect our business, because you know what? A degree is on average, I believe, $45,000, and you're telling people out there that anybody can do it. No, not anybody can do this. So again, respect our business. Thank you.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Put out that fire, Rob. Let them know who run the streets. Snowman, put out the fire, sir.
Respect Max Kellerman. I don't know why the hell they put a microphone in front of you or a camera in front of you in the first place, when half the time when you appear on your show, no matter which show it is, you're unprepared. I could say the same for Stephen A. Smith, but I would be telling a lie. It's just unfortunate that Stephen A. is having dirty money shoved up his ass to say the things that he say and do the things that he do. He's being driven and puppeted by dirty money, and he has been. He's had the #1 radio show 3 separate times, and 3 separate times when he got bigger than the network, they yanked the rug out from under him. Everybody wants to praise Stephen A. because he's getting $10, $12 million a year. Oh, yeah? Look where it's going. Planes, hotels, automobiles, everything else. It's not going towards sports because they're not allowing Stephen A. to be who he is. And for those of us gentlemen on this panel here, Mr. Max Kellerman, do not disrespect what we do. I took the strangest path into a 25-year career, okay? The strangest path of all, because I believe something that Jim Durham said. If he can do it, I can do it. And Jim Durham never finished school at Illinois State University. He got his job with the Chicago Bulls in 1971, was their voice for 20 years, and knew what he was talking about and learned from one of the best. And for when I say one of the best, I'm talking about Johnny Red Kerr, who was his partner for 18 years. Okay? When I say I took the strangest path and did not graduate college, but I had a burning desire to talk sports, which I do on a daily basis, 5 days a week. And I invite these gentlemen onto my show all the time. And you want to disrespect that by saying, oh, this is nothing. You can't say we work. Oh, yeah, I work my ass off 5 days a week, every doggone morning, delivering what needs to be delivered, which is what you folks at ESPN do not deliver, which is what you folks at CBS, Fox Sports don't deliver. And that is called the truth. We deliver it the way we want to deliver it and say it the way that we want to say it.
And I don't mean to get even deeper on this, but me and Darrell, when the network started in 2017 and we started going places, Darrell, and I don't want to get too deep in this, but I'm going to get deep. How many people look like us? I hate to say it.
How many people what?
Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. This is a panel right now full of African Americans, and we know how it is in this business. Yeah, they say it's inclusion and all that, but you still feel like you have to go into these rooms and overprove yourself. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth.
It is.
Still, like when I walk around with these in my head and I'm going to court and I'm going to these games and it's mostly white fans in the stands where I'm going to certain places, they'll look at me funny, but my work speaks for itself. So all I'm saying is there is still pressure. So when you say stuff like it's easy, Not everybody can do this. And we live in a world, and I'm sorry I'm going over. We live in a world now where we look at every commercial. Everybody says, "Oh, this is for everybody." Not everybody can do the same thing. That is the problem with our society, and it hurts folks like us who can't get on TV and can't get the certain notoriety or get the certain passes that other people get. That's all I want to say, guys. And thank you all for doing such a great job in what you guys do.
Yeah.
All right.
And one final note about that. And Darrell and I have talked about this extensively, and my wife and I have talked about this extensively. I put it in the form of a question. Gentlemen, how many times have you been asked, why do you sound white?
Oh, man. Well, I could go real deep into that, especially when I was doing the commercials. I got called to Uncle Tom because they said no black person is that happy. So believe me, I know exactly how you feel. It is not cool, you know. And so I mean,
nope.
But y'all make a great point. I know, like you said, I know we're going off topic here, but it needs to be said. You know, when you look at us and you think, oh man, well they talk professionally, so they talk white. No, I just talk like me.
Exactly.
That's who I am.
And I honor every one of my favorite I honor every one of my favorite play-by-play announcers. I've had people criticize me for years, saying, why don't you have any black play-by-play announcers as your favorites? Well, one, I didn't know they existed at the time I started pursuing this. And two, I just found out a lot about them lately. And three, to be perfectly honest, I had them on except for Greg Gumbel, who I plan to have on my show very soon. I had him on my program. Paul Olden, PA voice for the Super Bowl for many years, first voice of the Tampa Bay Rays, and most recently, Robert Ford, play-by-play voice of the Houston Astros. I know they exist. Just have to find them.
Just don't hear about them. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, respect our business. Respect our business.
All right. So I'm
respect the game.
We're gonna finish this up here. Before I go in there, I'm gonna put out the fire, and I kind of talked about this with my guys in the group earlier. The Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka. This mental health issue thing is beyond crazy, because a lot of people go in here and they say, you know what, these girls should have pushed through. They should have did this, should have did that. These girls are really young. To be 23 and 24 and have the whole weight of the world on your shoulders is tough. It's a tough deal. It is one of the hardest things to do. Not everybody is built for this. Yes, there have been many athletes in the past that have said, you know what, I'm going to push on through and do whatever. But how has that affected them in the long run? How does that hurt them in the long run because they didn't, take care of that mental issue at the time? So I applaud these girls for doing it when they did it. You can tell, Osaka, she went over there because she wanted to be able to do this. That's a part of her culture. So I can't be mad at her, but you can tell she's not in her game right now. She's not on top of her game right now, and then even Simone Biles, you're in this world where you're known as the number one gymnast in the world. Everybody looks at you that way. The biggest thing with her, and I think that it hurts her the most, is that people saw she was talking, not talking junk, but she was confident in herself. So the moment that she has a mental health issue, she has things going on, they trash her. They talk bad about it. They say this and that. Let those ladies get their minds right, man.
Darrell,
yes.
Darrell, and one other thing that people also missing. I'm not comparing them, but I know Osaka, she's so young, she plays tennis, etc. And I am not dissing tennis here. But for anybody who thinks gymnastics is easy, it is not. It is hard. And you're also talking about a Simone Biles who survived sexual assault. You're talking about a Simone Biles who is a black woman who is dark skinned in this country, who historically get racist taunts even more. You're also talking about Simone Biles. She's all ready to go. She didn't have to participate. So guess what, everybody? Give her flowers. She has done so much. And like I said, if some of you couch potatoes had to do and be disciplined like she had to be disciplined, you would understand. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Bravo.
All right, everybody.
Bravo.
Man, this has been a fun one here on Legacy on Fire. Episode 17 is exactly what I thought it was going to be. I knew the energy was going to come. I knew everybody was going to bring some heat on this one. I want to sit out here and I want to thank all of these guys for coming on the show and bringing just bringing the fire. Just bringing the fire. You know, debate to be great. Hashtag debate to be great. Appreciate you. Before we get off of here, give everybody a chance to say their goodbyes. And if there's anything they want to say, this is their chance now. Rob, anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
God bless everyone. Everybody stay safe and continue to hug your family members and tell them you love them every night.
LT, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, just piggybacking on that. I mean, we talked about a lot of issues that, you know, we have and that, you know, other people have. And, you know, just take care of yourselves and take care of each other as if you would want to be taken care of. That's all I got.
Joe, anything you want to say before we go, brother?
Grind with a plan, pray with a passion and purpose. Make sure you put it together always. When you're missing one, you're always left out of the loop. So you got to always bring the effort and the positivity and faith forward. So whatever you strive to be at, be the best version of yourself and have a plan for it.
And free Mr. Clark. I'm only saying that because you got the baseball bat. Snowman, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I just want to thank everybody for their support in my fight against pancreatic cancer. Found out it was stage 3, but there is an attack plan in place. I plan to beat it. I plan to be back at full strength.
That's right.
I plan to be in the booth for not only this year's season 25, but also a full season 26 and beyond. And I know there's a lot of stuff that I want to do with my wife and my family, my children, my grandchildren, and everybody. I want to thank everybody that's purchased a T-shirt before, purchased a T-shirt lately, but need a lot more help. There's a GoFundMe page out there for me now. I will post it on Facebook again, and I will also post the link to my shop on snowmaninthemorning.com. So use the hashtag SnowStrong. We need it. We need it. We absolutely need it. Thank you guys so very much. I love y'all, and I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, don't worry, because you're coming back. You're coming back. Don't worry about that.
Change the door. The enemy's coming.
I want chains and locks on those doors. Hey, Joe, this is for you. A good friend of mine always said this when we did a show together. They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they call me Batman.
Batman.
He did it with the
All right,
bat in his
everybody.
hand too
Look.
when he said that.
We love y'all out here. We'll be back next week. We'll let you know the panelists as we get closer to next week. But in 2 weeks, no, 3 weeks, Ladies Night 2 is coming. And I got the Triple W podcast coming on here for Ladies Night. We're going to have Karita Parks. We got Brianna Holmes. We got our girl Candy Waller. And then we got our girl Becca Wickler, who is also a Wizards insider. It's going to be fire. Fire.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch that one.
A good one. And plus, we got our NASCAR episode coming up right before the playoffs. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I'm your man, Darrell Lawrence. Brian Snow, Snowman in the Morning, and Snowman Media. LT and Joe of Commonwealth Sports Talk. It's been a pleasure. Y'all take care. Oh, yeah. Wait. Before we go, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Commonwealth Sports Talk. Yvonne and Rich, LegacyMaker Sports Network. Make sure you be there. Peace.
Fire, 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 fire.
I got the wrong one. I thought I hit the button, y'all. Wait, peace. It's going to go. Wait a minute.